Japanese are Shinto as opposed to Buddhists in China. English people, they changed into Anglican as opposed to the main religion that was in Europe from the Pope. But they are coming from Europe and these guys are coming from China. They both kept their religion and their kingdom, and they're the most successful in the nations. So this is one good example for Iran to create a system in which the clergies have their own ways, like a non-profit organizations. Their job, according to the constitution, primarily is to develop Islam, to unfold its truth, and put it to the practical use to create a good human being who is happy and who gives happiness to others. And the job of the kingdom is to keep Iran and show its glories of the past and now and represent it to the world and to the people of Iran. Is the national pride. But none of them are real practical government. None of them are allowed to talk or support any political party. If they do, they get fired. They're a non-profit organization. People can give them money and they can work. Okay? But in the center, there has to be democracy. So, what do we have right now, practically? Is it possible the Shah of Iran, which I still believe he is the Shah of Iran, legitimate Shah of Iran, qualified, trained for it, to sit down with Maryam Rajavi, who was 30 years outside in exile fighting for freedom, to come and sit down with Khatami in the middle of the enemies? He talks about the freedom and about religious virtues. Can these three people, any three as such, can they sit on the table, totally disagree with each other, but they still respect each other, and they need that they have to talk in order to create a unity? Is that possible? I put a question towards the leader of the Mujahideen Khalq, a representative of Maryam Rajavi, right in Toronto. He said, fairy tale. What are you talking? It's unimaginable. I told him, good. I thought so. Therefore, if there's no opposition, united opposition for this, for sure, this country is turning like Yugoslavia. I see a free Kurdistan, and I see Azerbaijan, even Mazandaran and Gilan is gone. And maybe part of the Iraq gets attached to you, and I don't know what. So, these three people seem that they can come together. I'm thinking it's impossible. But, unlike you, that you like to judge people, they tell me that, you know what Rafsanjani has done? I said, no. I haven't seen him, I haven't been in Iran. This guy is a thief, he has stolen all this money. I said, you know what? Again, you're going to the judge and you're bringing these things to me. I have not seen. To me, he's innocent until he's proven guilty. If the court, one day if it is firm, judged him, I accept that judgment. Until then, no. But you're saying that people in Iran cannot be millionaire or billionaire. Of course they can. What are you, communist? There's all kind of them everywhere. So is another billionaire in Iran. Or they talked about so much about the leader, Mr. Khamenei, the Imam Ayatollah Khamenei. I look at his eyes. I think in his eyes, when I look at it, there is a light. There is a light in it. I don't think he is what people are saying. But you know what? I haven't seen him also. I'm not a judge. I'm saying this. If there's a shred of truth in the present system of Iran, the government of Iran, doesn't matter what people say. You know yourself better. If there's a shred of truth in you, do what I asked the Shah of Iran to do. I told you that. If he was talking to Shariati, he was respecting Ayatollah Khomeini, bringing him, even secretly in Iran, or secretly going there and talk to him. Before these things happens, these things would have not happened the way it is today. So, now the reign is in your hand. Okay? Why don't you see the problem and see this and try to reform this country? Your foreign policy has been very good, excellent. But internal problem in Iran is not very great. We are a rich country. We're not less than Saudi Arabia and Dubai, who doesn't have even oil, desert, or Kuwait. Why can't our people to be a little bit better off than these situations? This corruption, as somebody has to sacrifice himself to stop these corruptions. And I know, besides the regime, every businessman in Iran is corrupt. Every businessman. It looks like a big corruption on the top. There is a plate called government, but underneath of it is all rotten. Who can fix this? It's very difficult. Only a revolution can do it. But this revolution has to be about repairing the system, because another revolution is going to break the Iran down into God knows what. We'll have to keep this regime if you like the Iran. Because after this falls down, there is no point of renovations. Iran is broke down into pieces, nothing can bring it together. But as long as this regime is there, if you understand Iran, you like it, somehow negotiate. See what is right. Stop this judgment game and blaming game. Do not blame this government and system. You yourself have voted for it. Maybe you guys that are up to 30 years old, not. But your parents did. If you want to deny the regime, go deny your parents. I know, I was there, they all voted for it. So you got a bad deal. That's basically it for your money. But it's your own deal. So what do you do with your mistakes anyway? You swear at the guy who sold it to you? No, you bought it. Try to fix it. It is fixable. If, as I said, we recognize there's a kingdom in Iran, that his job is kingdom, and there's a religious group, religious power, it's like Vatican, that can be confined in working on the humanity and human aspect of the life of, and then create democracy in the center. This regime is capable of doing that. It's very hard to bring it up, but I'm sure if there's determination in that, we could do it. Then this way, Islam doesn't die, you know. Shiite religion doesn't die. It's a very rich, beautiful, excellent, culture. Nobody knows what Imam Ja'far Sadiq has said and Imam Ali has said. Nobody knows really. Nobody has analyzed it. Nobody put it together and say this is one book of all the saying of Imam Sadiq, and this is all the saying of Imam Ali and Imam Hussein and Imam Hassan and all the 12 Imam. Put it all together and translate it in English and other language. So get rid of these convoluted things. Exclusion of religion for the turban and the beard and the robe. Let everyone knows it. If you love Islam as much as I respect it, I don't believe in it, I'm a Baha'i. And if you love Iran, I'm not an Iranian, I'm a Canadian citizen. I've renounced that citizenship. But if you love Iran, and if you love Islam, especially the Shiite, part of it, which is the two pair that God in Quran says everything they've created is of the pair. One pair is Sunni, one pair is Shiites, together. Two versions. They're both, going their ways. If you love the Shiites religions, and if you like Islam, and if you like to survive, if you like the Islam to survive in Iran, and Iran survives in the history, you have to do this. I'm sorry I cannot help you. But you can do it. For your own sake. You have the power right now as a government. Do what Shah of Iran didn't do. You are in a position, you can do it. Create that justice, slowly, wisely. I've seen your foreign policy, it's very good. Do some internal work now. Bring up the ideas. I know it's hard to trust each other right now in that situations. But by God, if you tell the truth and if you follow this, the spirit of the Imam, that you don't accept him and you didn't believe in him, he would be the guarantor of your success. I am his elder and I vouch for it. May God be with you. I hope you do the best for yourself and for your countrymen.